the truth of the matter is confidence very, very rarely actually precedes action. The way to become confident at something is to continuously do that thing, and then you start to build competence, and then the confidence actually follows that action. Hi guys, welcome back to Younger Today and welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing well. In this video, I want to talk to something that actually came to me during a chat I was having with someone, and I'm gonna unpack what that conversation was about. But essentially, this video is for anyone who has an idea or who has an intention or who has something on their list of things that they've wanted to do for a very long time and they've never really gotten started. I wanted to make this video to basically nudge you in the right direction, to say that you need to actually start that thing, whatever it may be. So if you are interested in just my thoughts around this type of thing, then please stick around for the rest of this video. So there is a specific quote that I came across many years ago by the late Jim Rohn. It talks to a law that he calls the law of diminishing intent. And I'm going to try and paraphrase it or unpack it in my own words. But essentially, what he is talking to when he talks about the law of diminishing intent is you are going to have an idea, or you are going to have something that you want to do. And there is a specific gap between you having that specific idea or intention and you taking that action. And where that gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the likelihood of you actually then eventually taking action becomes really, really small. In other words, the moment you have increased motivation with regards to something that you want to do, you want to go back to school, you need to take action as quickly as possible before your brain sabotages you, before your mind tries to talk you out of it. Now, there are a lot of reasons why people don't actually want to get started, or they get stuck in trying to plan out all of the steps and all of the scenarios that could possibly play out that will make them feel comfortable. And that basically segues into this conversation that I was having with this person, where they were showing me something that they do on the side. I want to say it's a side hustle, but he actually doesn't charge for this. So he invested in a drone and he basically does videography and photography on the side. And when he showed me his work, I was blown away because I was thinking, this is absolutely brilliant. And I asked him, how much does he charge for this? Because it's so good. And he said, no, I'm still trying to perfect my craft, so I feel awkward charging people. And that's when I thought, you know what, we're all falling into this trap all of the time of wanting to be perfect. And I thought to myself, at what point do you actually feel perfect? If you think about it, there's never really going to be a point in your life with regards to something where you feel perfect. And that was something that I communicated to him. I said, well, at what point do you think you're going to actually feel perfect? And he said, I don't know. And the problem with that is time is actually moving by, and he's losing money in the process, because he could actually be charging, which he should, because he is offering such an incredible service. So if you are that person, which you probably are, because a lot of us have a lot of things that we want to do, but there's probably that one thing that you've been putting aside. You've been wanting to go back to school. You've been wanting to start a business. Heck, maybe you even wanted to start a YouTube channel. Who knows? It could be anything. But I want you to try and think of all of the reasons that are preventing you from actually starting. And I'll unpack some of them. One of the main reasons people don't do certain things is because of the fear of what people are going to say and what people are going to think. And your mind sort of sabotages you in that regard. And you need to be that person somehow. You need to be able to get outside of your head. And I've said this before. I think I'm always just gonna remind you guys that people are not as invested in the things that you're doing as you think they are. So you need to make sure that you just learn how to get out of your head. And I also think that one of the other reasons why people don't start a lot of the things that they would want to do is because they try and have everything mapped out. You want to see the entire staircase, not realizing that all you really need to do is take the first step. So that's one of the most practical things I would say I have tried to employ in my life as a recovering perfectionist as well, because I've seen that perfectionism does not actually serve me. So if you have that thing that you want to do, we'll use the going back to school as a good example because it's simple to illustrate, right? The first thing that you need to do is unpack what is the smallest step that I can take in the right direction to actually achieving this goal, or to actually starting this thing that I want to do. And the first step there would be saying that I need to register. So when is the registration period? And then take that first step of registering, because that's you showing commitment. And one thing that I also realized with regards to this whole conversation is a lot of the time people want to feel confident before they actually start to do something. If someone wants to invest, they want to make sure that they are the best investor that the market has ever seen. But the truth of the matter is confidence very, very rarely actually precedes action. The way to become confident at something is to continuously do that thing, and then you start to build competence, and then the confidence actually follows that action. So if you're sitting and you're thinking to yourself, I want to feel ready, I want to feel confident, you're going to be waiting for that feeling of being ready for a very long time. And I'm also someone who, I don't have a lot of things I think that I'm afraid of, but one thing that I actually am really afraid of is like regret. So whenever I'm afraid of doing something, or whenever I feel as though I am divorcing myself from my goals, or I'm pushing something aside, or I'm self-sabotaging, I always think into the future, and I ask myself the question, am I going to feel worse at the outcome of having failed, or am I going to feel worse at never having tried? And I would rather sit with understanding that, I tried something out and it didn't work out, as opposed to I never even gave it a shot. Because the time is always going to pass anyway. But now if you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, would it have worked out? Would it have not? You're going to obviously be torturing yourself because you'll never know. So the time is always going to pass. So that is just something that I wanted to bring to you guys, to say that if there is something that continuously comes to the forefront of your mind, and it says you need to start that business, it says you need to go back to school, you need to change this job, you need to, whatever the case may be, you need to follow that voice, and you need to just take that first step. If you're waiting to be confident, the confidence will follow the action. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this very, very short video, but I hope that it has sparked something in you to say that, okay, this is the sign that I needed, and I'm going to start. Remember, one of the most I think life-changing parables for me in the Bible, and I'm no biblical scholar, but I really, really love this parable, which is the parable of the talents in the Bible. If you're going to take something and try and not expand on that thing that you have, whether it's a gift or whatever the case may be, then it's going to be taken away from you. So when you have an idea visit you, you need to actually take that idea and make something wonderful with it. It may work out, it may not, but at least you will have known that you would have tried. And yeah, so again, I hope that this video has sparked the right ideas in you, and I would love to know in the comment section, what is that one thing that you've been putting off that you are committed to actually taking that first step. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in my next video.